or number one suggestion on how to manage anxiety and worry and taking one day at a time is Fireball.
Probably the worst idea. Our go-to coping mechanism for sure.
Go ahead and write that one down.
All right. So welcome.
Hello.
So here we are. We're getting into the double-digit podcast episode number. Crazy.
What are we at now? 10? This
Yeah.
is 10?
Well, 10, 11. Hard to say
Ooh.
what's going to hit first.
Well,
but
good for us for actually making it through.
I know, following
this.
through with something. This is crazy.
It's crazy. Go us.
Go us. So something we want to, couple announcements. So 2-year anniversary, also big deal, right? That we started this little journey in the middle of COVID, which was a great idea. But if you've watched any of the podcasts, you know exactly why we did that and what the timing was. And really, COVID had nothing to do with it.
True.
So here we are. Would you like to tell them, Vanna, what they've won?
I think that you should, because it was your mastermind amazing idea, actually. So I think you should.
You think I should?
I should.
Do you want me to hold them and talk about them?
I do.
Okay, you're a little quiet today, so it's concerning me, but it's fine.
Well, just wait. It'll come, I'm sure.
Just wait.
That's what she said. Just warm it up.
Funny. Okay, so with it being 2 years, we're giving away $100 gift cards. Okay, this can be for anyone for a full set. So Lash services anytime between now and the end of the year, but to honor our 2 years. So we are giving away a lot of these. So we're giving away a lot of money, and this is for any full set. So,
but tell them how many of those that we made in honor of our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, so we have 200 of these. So we are giving away $20,000 in Lash services. Get you some of that.
And you get chocolates.
Yes.
Who doesn't want chocolates?
Yes. So the kids helped us work on those and put those together. So again, gift card, reach out to us if you're interested. If you have never had lashes and you want to try lashes, no better time to do that than getting a free $100. Get you some of that.
I know.
Supply delivery also in full force, getting that launched. So if you are in need of supplies in the local area, we're starting to do delivery again, bringing back by popular demand, as you said. So reach out and let us know if that's something that can help you, and we'll work to make that happen.
Yep. We will.
We will.
Too bad you don't have the fast car to do the deliveries in anymore.
My car's pretty fast.
No, the second car.
I know.
But we don't have it anymore. It was fun.
Yeah. It's
the
fine.
Audi.
I know. It's fine.
Okay.
There'll be more. It's funny because you're more sad about the car.
I cried. No, it's weird that you weren't sad about the car.
Is it though?
Yeah, I felt like it was because you really were so excited. It was such a huge milestone for you.
Yeah.
And
I love
then
that car.
we had to load it on the truck and it went away.
Yeah. Well, it's going to a new home. Somebody's going to get to enjoy it. And then we're going to get another one and we're going to enjoy that one. And the world goes around.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's how we do it. We take it one day at a time.
Some of us do.
Some of us do.
I sometimes take all the days in one day.
At a time.
At a time. At a minute.
So,
Lord help me.
Yeah. So today, I'm going to talk about that. This will probably be a little quick podcast, but something that's really, I think, weighed heavy on us in our lives, business and personal, is, and I'm sure a lot of you out there, stress and anxiety and worry, and really have been digging deep myself into understanding worry and, you know, the point of it and how to manage it and deal with it. And I think, again, everybody has it on some level. And so some of the things that I've run
Not
into,
me.
Not you.
No,
ever.
I don't know. I am even keel.
Even keel, baby. You are straight as an arrow.
Straight as an arrow. I'm very predictably unpredictable with my moods and my worry and anxiety.
Yes. Yes. Well, and thank the Lord that we have you to hold us together.
That's not nice. It's fine.
Hey,
I
it's
do a
a
great
trade-off.
job.
It's always a trade-off. Yeah. I pick you up when you're down and you pick me up when I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I do.
So trying to manage that and find tools so you don't always have to lean on your partner or whatever object might be near that
Fireball?
bottled.
Okay, so
Coping
number one
mechanism?
topic is, or number one suggestion on how to manage anxiety and worry and taking one day at a time is Fireball.
Yes. It is
It's our number one suggestion.
our go-to coping mechanism for sure.
Go ahead and write that one down.
Write that one down. Yeah. Yeah. And then what is it? Number 2 is refer to number 1.
Yes.
Is that
And then C, refer to A and B.
yeah.
It's gotten us through some really tough days, though.
It has.
Praise God, he made an alcohol that has formaldehyde in it that tastes like cinnamon and takes away all your worries.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because it's almost a forced mechanism for you to take it one day at a time. Because if you drink enough Fireball, that you really don't care about what's going to happen tomorrow.
No, you don't until the next day, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah. But on that day, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, again, when I've been doing reading and listening to people that are smarter than I am, and really looking at that is trying to not go down, as we like to say, the rabbit hole. And it can be whether it's business or personal or even health, that it's easy for all of us to think, oh my gosh, in 2 months, if this and this and this and this happen, then this is going to be a travesty. And then you will sit and spin for hours, days, weeks, worrying about an outcome, a potential outcome that may never happen. And a lot of times I've found when I look at these things I worry about, they never even come to fruition. And I look back and I realize how much time I spent worrying about something that ended up never happening. And obviously it's not a perfect science that you're going to be able to just, shut it off and be like, oh, I'm never going to worry about anything again. But what I found that's a good tool for me is trying to take the day for what it is and just focusing on what I can do today, whether it's working toward a goal or combating a worry down the road. And there's really nothing else I can do beyond that point. It's definitely an intentional exercise for me that I found where I have to really stop and figure out what it is that's bothering me and really then think, okay, well, is worrying about it going to do any good? Which is usually no. And then what can I do today and just focus on getting that done in that task and letting it go.
Mm-hmm. So I just remembered a funny story because that's my job, bringing the humor.
Yeah, bring it around. I got the data. It's all you now.
It was the day that you were working out in the garage and we actually used the word rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. And I was like, sweetie, what's wrong? And you were stressed out. There was a lot of worry. Things weren't falling into place. The dominoes weren't falling mm-hmm. in the pattern that you wanted them to or any at all. And remember, you're like, I'm just in a rabbit hole. And we're talking about that. And then later you're like, I broke my ankle in the rabbit hole. And I was like, you did? Oh my gosh, are you okay? Like you used the analogy that you were at the bottom of the rabbit hole with a broken ankle. But it took me a little while to pick up on that.
Did. I know you were just worried like, oh my gosh, you break your ankle. Do we need to go to the hospital?
I know, but.
And I was like, no, I fell down the rabbit hole. I didn't catch myself and I landed on my ankle and now I can't climb out.
Yes.
So that would be, the analogy for a really bad day.
Yes. So if you message me or call me or tell me that you have broken your ankle and you're at the bottom of the rabbit hole, I now know what that means.
Now know. Like it's time to reach out and have a conversation mm-hmm. with somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. But I think, and I've heard a lot of different ways to think about this or try to make it work in your mind, the what if versus the what is. A buddy of mine was telling me he had heard that. And that's one that really makes a lot of sense because, we really think about, well, what if this, good or bad thing happens, versus what is and what do we know today and what can we do to work on? I think I'm notorious when it comes to, budget and finances, and I try to forecast things out for months and years. And I find I go way down that trail and I don't even realize I've gotten lost in the woods. And so I'm really trying to be mindful to think about, today, what do I know? What am I doing? What are we working on? And sticking to that.
Yeah. Well, especially in this business when you can wake up in the morning and what you think is going to happen with your appointments and schedules and everything is not what happens at the end of the day. So it's hard so I kind of feel like your anxiety is welcomed with that.
It does make it tough to budget sometimes
on
some days. Yeah.
But I just need to get better about when people cancel.
It's a work in process.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think there's, lots of things that we're working on, but I think the other thing with us and I won't go on the money thing, but the budget is that to our previous podcast is we reinvest literally every extra dollar into this business. And so it's not about, like you were saying, having the Lamborghini payment or something like that. Is we're trying to figure out how much money we have left over on a monthly basis that we can then reinvest in the company to make a better experience, whether that's getting you more training, better equipment, more supplies, a better studio, the list goes on and on. I mean, you can spend money right on so many things. Yeah.
And I am really good at finding that.
You do find the yes when it comes to spending.
Yes. So one of the things that led to Todd breaking his ankle in the rabbit hole was me doing a little shopping in the middle of the night.
You do.
And it brings him a lot of anxiety, and I finally get it. Sometimes it takes me a little while to learn. I just thought maybe don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars on Amazon in the middle of the night, but no,
all relative,
he was requesting not to spend any.
Well, and here's the funny thing about that is that you have sleep issues.
My gosh.
Clearly, if we're doing Amazon shopping in the middle of the night, there's a different issue going on.
Right. I don't sleep. I actually did a science project on him the other night for 3 hours. I thought he was going to die of diabetes because I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, days of no sleeping.
Yes. Yeah. You videoed me and then you were researching, you were timing, you were tracking data patterns.
I know. Who is that girl? I never do data science projects.
And then you sent me a whole case study the next day on what your findings were.
I did. I was like, you need to go to the doctor. You have diabetes. This is a big issue. And I took the videos to prove it so that he would believe me.
I know. You actually had a really well put together package.
It was solid. Well, I had a lot of time to put it together for you.
Yeah. So, if you ever get...
oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
Where are we even going with that?
Well, I think it's it's the rabbit hole and the stress.
Oh,
is what
yeah.
we're talking about. And
but no joke. I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Do it.
Shopping is so helpful.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
But not good.
Yeah. Maybe not the best coping mechanism.
No, it works for me though.
But yes, in the middle of the night, if you have insomnia or you have stress, because that's usually why you don't sleep, is that you've gone down the rabbit hole and broke your ankle. And so shopping helps kind of do that versus, I guess, drinking Fireball all night long. Because, we've done that and that doesn't end well either.
No.
So, but the funny thing is that that's something helpful for you in a coping mechanism, yet the result of that then puts stress on me to get a warning in the middle of somebody maybe made an unauthorized credit card charge at 2 a.m.
And then I can feel that you're worried and anxious, and then I'm worse off than I was before. I'm more worried and anxious because you're worried and anxious.
Yes. The the predictably unpredictable relationship that we have.
I was tempted the other night though to go shopping. I said, nope, not going to do it. I'm just going to lay right here. I think I watched, what was it? The Wrong Missy is a go-to every night.
That's funny.
Yeah. And Mr. Henderson's Phone.
That's
it's really good.
It's a new one.
It's
right?
like a
newer one.
Thriller. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we do like us some suspense thrillers.
But here's the funny thing too, is that I get more scared if you're sleeping. Like like I can watch it, and if you're not even paying attention, but you're laying there, then I'm okay. But the second that I know that your eyes are closed and you do this like body twitch, like when I know that you're like sleeping, it's like, oh no.
Well,
I'm too scared.
You also do this. I can see you come over.
I did.
You look like.
You did. I thought I was being so sneaky.
No, not at all.
It's funny.
But I don't know why you'd be scared, because one, I'm between you and the door, and two, I have ninja skills.
Yeah, I have yet to see the ninja skills.
Well, that's because there's intimidation. They don't even dare.
Oh. Do you remember that time when I wanted to get a shotgun for intimidation? Okay.
Yes.
So first time ever living alone by myself, because I had lived with my parents and then my roommates.
That's right at the top of the list of bad ideas.
I know. Then I got married, and then that was a horrible experience and divorce. And then I was
probably the worst idea, but
getting married to him. Yeah, for sure. The second worst idea was thinking I needed a shotgun. So but it made perfect sense in my head.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So my thinking and thoughts were, okay, I'm all alone, never lived alone with me and my two boys. What am I going to do if somebody breaks in? Right? They talk about the fight or flight stages, like what will you do? I have no really idea what I would do. But if I had a shotgun and I heard somebody come into the house, and then I would just reach out the shotgun from under the bed or whatever I did, wherever I just chose to keep it, and just stand at the top of the stairs, and you hear the I mean, that's a world known sound. And they would be like, oh my gosh, this girl's got a shotgun. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to like not bother her. And it just all made perfect sense to me in my head.
And then, of course, we picture how that would actually play out with you screaming at the top of the stairs and racking it over and over again.
And it was this really narrow, like, hallway, too. And so I'd probably, like, ricochet. It wouldn't have worked. But the intimidation, though.
Yes. Well, and I remember you were convicted with that.
No, I know. I mean, I felt like that was my only option for safety.
Yeah. I believe that. With the way that you told me the story and the way you were selling it, you were
like, that is a bad idea.
That must have been one of those nights again that you were up and you were Googling ideas.
No, I don't think that you could Google that.
How to intimidate a burglar.
No. Well, I was with somebody that hunted all the time and was around shotguns, and just what do you call the thing?
The racking it?
Yeah, the racking it was like, everyone knows what that sounds like. And that stuck out in my mind when I was out hunting. Well, I wasn't hunting, and so I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be a great thing to have.
I pictured it. That will never get out of my mind.
Yeah, you're welcome. How did we end on shotguns with Don't Worry?
Well, because we got in the middle of the night shopping, and then there's lots of stories around in the middle of the night, not sleeping stories.
Yeah.
That could be an episode. We could have like nighttime stories by Todd and Misty.
Yeah. But you know what I think, that my anxiety and depression and everything is really heightened right now. I've got some real big personal thing going on that has been lasting or coming up 2 years. That's just really, really hard. But if you're not, and I know that sleep is really important. I don't know how to fix it, but if you're not sleeping, it just makes the worry and the anxiousness on a whole new level.
It's exponential because you're not thinking right because you don't have sleep. Your body, you don't feel good. And then you really just drift into the twilight zone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then you end up doing science projects
on your husband.
So if you haven't, I guess I'm like, maybe I'll just reach out to our all 28 fans. Like if you have a solution for sleeping.
Oh yeah. Drop it in a comment for us.
Yeah. Unless it's Ambien. I will not take Ambien. I had an experience with somebody that took Ambien and it was the scariest thing that I've ever been through.
Yeah.
Well, that was a little extreme. It was not the scariest things I've been, but it like, oh my gosh, I don't want to take it. But I've tried everything. I've tried, everything under the sun. And I just struggle with sleeping.
We've tried everything except for like what the professionals say with a sleep hygiene routine. I think your go-to is TV and phone.
Right. Well, because I have so many thoughts running through my brain all the time that I actually need things to get my mind off of it.
Well, and that's a great segue because the other part that I learned today, years old, I believe it was, is that the number one thing to help or combat worry or anxiety is being busy.
Oh, for sure. I do not want to be alone with myself in my head. So that's why I just run around.
To Lash's Save My Life.
I know.
And being busy. But the story that I'd heard in this book, and they talked about a guy, and he was working 7-hour days or whatever it was, and they had an issue at the company he was working at, and they'd bought like $500,000 in product, and then the company they were going to sell it to decided not to use it anymore, went a different direction, and he was worried, and rightfully so, because all this product was going to go bad. It was perishable. They didn't have anybody to sell it to. They owed $350,000 to the bank, so they couldn't. Is this
a movie? I feel like you're talking about a movie.
No, a book.
Office Space?
No, a book.
No, a book.
And
is it a book?
I'm pretty sure it was a book.
Okay, sorry, I'll stop now.
It might have been a movie, though. And then they were also on contract to have to buy another $1 million of this product. So he got, so stressed and had health issues and all sorts of things. And what ended up remedying it to land the plane is he actually started working like 16-hour days, and he never worried again. And so he had told this story, I think, to a class, like a college class that he went through, and the professor was teaching on worry and stress and what do people do, and was just intrigued by the story, and then I think later did some case studies and research about the busy, because your mind, and I didn't realize this because I pride myself on being a multitasker, can only think of one thing at a time. Even though you multitask, you aren't doing two things at once. You might bounce back and forth, and you might be really good at doing them, real quick, but your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So, when you are busy, you can't worry because your physiology won't allow it.
I like it.
Yeah. So I guess we could be a case study with you for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a lot to worry about at this very moment in time, but which is why I work. Everyone says, stop working so much, but when I don't and I slow down, the anxiety, it just gets worse.
That's not
so good. Working a lot, not only am I passionate about it and love my clients, but I also need it. Yeah. Yeah. To be able to get through some of the days that I am, going through. So,
yeah. Well, and I don't
have to think.
Yeah.
And I hear about everybody else's problems.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I just channel it different because I'll do my workouts and I do work and I do different projects and, chores and whatever. So in the end, it's still the same thing. It's just different activities, but it's still staying busy. And usually when I start getting stressed, just like you, is when I'm sitting around waiting for something, right? And so I'm starting to worry about a what if instead of like, what can I do today? Whether I can stay busy or, I've done everything I can for that what if, so I got to let it go for today, and then I need to get busy on something else and not just sit and spin. So anyway,
Hopefully we helped somebody or.
Hopefully. Yeah. So that was on my mind, again, because we've been dealing with that. Our whole life, but this week, and I just had a couple of those breakthroughs, or had heard some things that I felt were really helpful for me. So maybe they can be helpful for you. I'm sure we'll circle back. Anxiety and managing that, I'm sure, will be sprinkled throughout our podcasts over the years.
Yes.
And so you'll get an update on
You're
how
welcome.
things are going. But again, like Misty said, if you guys have any tips, tricks, or things that you found that help work in the short term or long term with stress, anxiety, and
Sleep.
worry and sleep. Yes, please drop them. We'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
And then, too, you might be able to help somebody else. So,
Right.
All right. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.